17th of February 2025, 1 minute past the hour, ready to inform you on everything that has been happening within our borders and across our borders. But first, let's get the highlights. Raila support President Ruto after losing the AUC chairmanship, or will he oppose him? Details in the broadcast. Kindiki reiterates the government's effort to ensure the success of the Universal Health Coverage Program. Education CS Julius Migos confirms that more funding will be rolled out to the education sector. And a conflict over business space arises between students and a prominent entrepreneur in Machakos County.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Anyango, Sylvia.
That's right, and our sign language interpreter this evening is Jennifer Obuya. Remember, this broadcast is also coming to you live on YouTube at KUTVNEWS Kenya, and you can engage with us also on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Anyango Sylvia KE. We begin. Now, President William Ruto has led leaders and the nation in mourning the death of Johnson Nzioka, chairman of the primary school head teachers union. Nzioka tragically passed away in a road accident on Mombasa Highway near Athi River while traveling to Nairobi on Sunday night. In his tribute, President Ruto described Nzioka as a renowned education expert who tirelessly championed the interest of head teachers across the country. Teacher Service Commission (TSC) CEO Nancy Macharia also eulogized Nzioka as one of Kenya's most respected professionals, highlighting his 38 years of dedicated service in education. Until his untimely demise, Johnson Nzioka was the head teacher at Donholm Primary School. His death marks a significant loss for the education fraternity and the nation at large. And still on the loss, we also have another tragic death of Malava MP Moses Malulu Injendi, who has passed away at Aga Khan Hospital following long illness. We'll keep you also updated on that and many more. Now let's shift gears to politics. After Raila Odinga's defeat in the race for AUC chairmanship, questions continue to linger on the future of the former Prime Minister. Will Raila Odinga continue supporting President Ruto, or will he return to support Kalonzo Musyoka or even align with Rigathi Gachagua in opposition? Our political reporter Blue Smile Hassan analyzes Raila's future after losing his AUC bid in Addis Ababa.
After losing in the AUC chairmanship race in Addis Ababa and accepting the results, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga now faces a major test in determining his next move. Questions are now being raised on whether the former Prime Minister will continue his bromance with President William Ruto after Odinga was seen protecting Ruto from the AUC chairmanship loss blames.
Because Baba did not do as much as he expected, or it's because Baba is now tired, because he's too old, all sort of things, that maybe because those people used more money than they used, or Ruto just wanted to humiliate Baba. It was not genuine in saying that he was supporting him and so on and so forth.
Political analyst Brian Masjid says that even though there are strong calls from a section of Kenyans asking Raila to oppose Ruto's government, all signs indicate that Raila may stay loyal to Ruto.
Now we cannot say that this bromance can last. We can also not say that this bromance will not last. But what I know, for the very first time, there is an indication that this bromance between President Ruto and Raila is going to last.
The calls from a section of Kenyans urging Raila to return and free them from what they call bad leadership brings up the possibility of Raila working with Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who has been vocal in opposing the broad-based government, with his followers saying that Kalonzo should have been the AUC candidate and not Raila.
If we were to look at it in the moral sense, then Raila has the right and should support Kalonzo Musyoka because he has stood with him. If loyalty is concerned, he has stood with him for more than 3 times. But for politics, it might not be right. Yeah, so I don't completely disregard the prospect of them working together. That is a possibility.
Rigathi Gachagua also seems to be pulling Raila towards his side with the social media messages before and after the AUC election. Political analyst Gitau Minjire says Gachagua's image as a leader profile to be associated with one community may hinder his chances of working with Raila, who is seen as a statesman.
The problem is that currently Rigathi Gachagua is seen as a tribal leader, or his main focus is working with leaders from one region, that is the Mount Kenya region. So that being a factor, and Raila Odinga is seen as a statesman, that will be seen as a negative thing because you cannot downgrade from being a statesman to a regional leader.
The Gen Z could also attract Raila. Despite some of these young people not supporting Raila in his bid for AUC chair, political analysts say that Raila still holds significant influence over Gen Z.
His role during the Moi era, his human rights record. So Raila might form a truce with the Gen Zs because, you see, for Gen Z, this is a new phenomena that will be tested in 2027. And there are a lot of issues that have not been addressed in regards to Gen Z.
The ball is now in Raila's hands, with Kenyans waiting to see whether he will maintain his political alliance with Ruto and his broad-based government, or will he stand with a section of Kenyans saying that he still has work to do in the opposition, or whether he might align with other leaders like Kalonzo or Gachagua. Only time will tell. Blue Smile Hassan, KUTV.
And Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has reiterated the government's effort to successfully and sustainably implement the Universal Health Coverage (UHC), despite its efficiency concerns that continue to fill the air with the rollout of the initiative. While hosting the national and county governments health summit, the government's health summit to review the implementation of universal health coverage, Kindiki highlighted that policy and administrative interventions are being made to address emerging challenges in the Taifa Care rollout.
While reiterating the government's efforts to successfully and sustainably implement the Universal Health Coverage (UHC) amidst the rising concerns over its rollouts, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has yet again assured Kenyans that no decisions will disrupt the quality of health care in the country.
Our objective as government is to make sure that no decision that is made by our development partners affects the quality of healthcare we provide to the people of Kenya. So we are making all necessary contingency decisions and arrangements to ensure there will be no disruption of services to the people of Kenya.
Speaking while hosting the national and county government's health summit to review the implementation of universal health coverage at his official current residence, the second-in-command highlighted that policy and administrative interventions are being made to address emerging challenges in the Taifa Care rollout.
Many countries around the world have struggled with providing universal health care for its people. It is not an easy job. Providing universal health coverage is a complex, expensive, and I dare say politically risky enterprise.
Kindiki further stated that the government is reviewing the means testing tool for Social Health Authority to better reflect the needs of the user.
We are reviewing the means testing tool, and I think the ministry will be giving us progress of where we are. In the next few days, we will have a new means testing tool to make sure that the tool is accurate, objective, and helps us leverage on all the fundamentals to make sure that we provide quality health care to the people of Kenya.
Following the withdrawal of funding on key healthcare programs by the US government, the DP highlighted that the government of Kenya has made necessary contingency financing to ensure seamless delivery of service to the people.
In terms of registration, we seem to be making good progress. 19.5 million Kenyans are already enrolled. However, the situation as it is to firm up on the contributions. And as many of us are aware that at the moment we need to do some work to make sure that as many people as possible who have registered are making contributions.
According to the second in command, so far 19.5 million Kenyans have registered and efforts are in place to ensure every Kenyan citizen has a medical cover. However, he encouraged all registered citizens to make their monthly contributions for Taifa Care's sustainability. James Baraka for KUTV.
Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba has informed schools that delayed capitation will be released this week, citing pressing responsibilities. Presiding over a book launch commemorating the 60th anniversary of Kereri Girls High School, the CS highlighted that the 25% remittance was part of the 50% allocation for the first term. According to Migos, the ministry provided 19 billion Kenyan shillings as capitation this fiscal year in the proportions of 50%, 30% and 20% for the 3 periods. His remarks came amid an outcry from school principals over the allocation received, which they claimed were inadequate.
Capitation for schools is released on a 50-30-20 percentage. First term 50%, second term 30%, and third term 20%. Of the 50% that was supposed to be released this term, for secondary schools we've released 25% of that portion. So there's another 14 or 15 billion that is pending, and that figure is going to be released next week to the teachers. So they do not need to worry because the government in the first term is normally a bit tricky because of the many commitments that the government has, and because of that we were able only to release it in bits. We first released 19 billion, then we released 14 billion, and another 14 billion is going to be released this coming week.
Principal Secretary, State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards, Mary Modoni, has expressed concerns over the increasing rise of substance abuse among youths in Kenya, particularly nicotine, a poisonous chemical found in tobacco products. The PS, who spoke at St. Peter's Kiambururu ACK Church in Kiambu County, called for collective action against alcohol and drug abuse, urging all stakeholders to support government efforts. This story was produced by our very own Helen Kiplagat. Speaking at St. Peter's Kiambururu ACK Church in Kiambu County, Principal Secretary for Public Health and Professional Standards, Mary Modoni, raised the issue of increased drug use, particularly focusing on the widespread abuse of nicotine found in tobacco products as well as other harmful substances. The PS emphasized that such substance abuse leads to severe health problems, including addiction, heart disease, cancer, and has long-term negative consequences for the future of the nation.
Communities are really suffering because of use and misuse of drugs and substance, and most importantly, nicotine products. And right now we have new nicotine products in the market. We have vapes, we have pouches, we have electric cigars that are very appealing even to the young children who are in primary school and secondary school. And note that nicotine, when it gets to the brain, it damages it to the sense that you're not able to be coherent with the most of the things that you may be doing, and your memory, you may have memory lapses.
PS Mudhoni called on the church to support government's efforts in the fight, noting the problem of drug use and abuse requires change in behavior and attitude. On his part, ACK Reverend Dedan Njenga advised parents and members of the public to be wary of some unscrupulous business who sell confectionaries, saying some of them are laced with drugs.
So passive smokers and active smokers, all in all, it has negative effects into our health. The other thing I would like to say is congratulations to our community health promoters for the great job that they are doing in the communities, in the household.
So it is very important for each one of us to be healthy, and we are also trying to tell people, and especially young people, the Gen Z, to be careful about the drugs, as our PS was trying to say, as already said in the church, that the drugs that we use are very.
Recent statistics by NACADA indicate that youths commonly abuse alcohol, nicotine, tobacco, cat, cannabis, among others. The data shows that more than half of drug users are aged between 10 and 19 years. Anyango, Sylvia, KUTV. Now that story takes us to a very fast break on the broadcast tonight. Stay with us.
Badala ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila uoga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi.
Nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
You are watching Weekend Live with Anyango.
Welcome back. Apologies. It is KUTV News at 9, not Weekend Live. Now keep engaging with us on our social media platforms, on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Anyango Sylvia KE. A commercial dispute has arisen between students of Machakos College running a pool table business along Machakos Makueni Road and a local businessman, Mwendo Malika. Malika, who owns a shop in the area, accuses the students of occupying the space outside his premises with pool tables, effectively blocking access to his business. Despite following legal procedures to resolve the matter, the students have refused to vacate the area, exhibiting the conflict. The businessman is now appealing to security agencies to step in and mediate the situation, which he says is harming his livelihood and contributing to the ongoing crisis.
I'm requesting the government to join hands with us. Aside with us, na mtuambie kuwa comrades mnafanya kitu ya maana. Imagine tumeavoid sexual immorality. Number 2, bangi. Crime. Number 2, crimes. Kama sahi mwanafunzi ungekuwa umesikia polisi wameshika mwanafunzi mahali.
There is no contract ya pool, it was for free. Tukaambia kama ni pool mnaweka hapo mbele, but si tunalipisha duka peke yake. So mimi nikaeleza vijana Kenya wanakuja na wanataka tutoe hizi container mbili ziko kwa barabara, tubakishe moja ile iko kwa ukuta. Na hizo pool tables. Vijana wakakataa. Wakaleta fujo. Si tukawachana na wao tu. So bado tunaendelea kutafuta vile watatoka.
That is quite unfortunate. Let's wait and see the arm of law. Now, since June 2024, when a series of mass protests took place in Kenya, 82 cases of alleged forced disappearances have been recorded, according to Kenyan National Human Rights Commission. It's yet to be confirmed who is behind the abductions. VOA Nairobi Bureau Chief Mariama Diallo has the report.
It's here in the Kitengela town neighborhood, about an hour away from central Nairobi, that Aslam Longton and his brother Jamil say they were abducted. Earlier that day in August, Aslam says he felt uneasy and noticed unfamiliar people were watching him. The brothers were riding together by car when things unraveled.
That first corner, there was a Toyota Vix parked there, opened the old doors, so I cannot pass there. So I reversed the car. I come this place. When I entered this place, there was a Subaru come and blocked me here, and Toyota Axio blocked me at behind of there.
The brothers alleged they were approached by heavily armed men they described as appearing to be police officers and asked to switch off their car.
They opened the car, removed me at the steering, took me very fast to the Subaru.
Jamil Longton says he was not meant to be taken away that day, but when he pressed the officers, even suggesting to call the neighborhood's police station, they refused to introduce themselves.
I kept on asking them, who are you? Where are you taking my brother? I told them I'll call the OCS Kitengela police station to ask him if he's aware of whatever you're doing. When I attempted to call the OCS, my phone was confiscated by them. I was slapped, my phone switched off, and I was also bungled into the Subaru.
The brothers say they were handcuffed, blindfolded, taken to a location, and held there for 32 days. Amnesty International and Kenya National Commission on Human Rights confirmed the accounts by the two men and say it's similar to the treatment of other abductees.
Number one, they are telling us that they were denied food. They were kept in handcuffs for days. They were stripped naked and they were made to lie on concrete floors.
Aslam says he was taken due to his participation in the nationwide youth-led Gen Z protest last year against a proposed bill that would have increased taxes. The protest expanded into a call for an end to corruption and for the president to resign. The bill was eventually withdrawn. Aslam's brother didn't take part in the protest, but they say they were both repeatedly questioned about its funding source during their captivity. Rights groups accuse the Kenyan police of using excessive force against protesters and in some cases abducting government critics. Police deny the allegations. The police also said that they had credible evidence criminal gangs had infiltrated the protests and planned to take advantage. In December, following more protests in Nairobi to demand the police produce the missing people, President William Ruto condemned the spike in disappearances.
Any criminality must be investigated, whether undertaken by citizens or criminals or undertaken by the police. It must be investigated.
Our requests for comments from the National Police Service were not answered. Mariama Jallo, VOA News, Nairobi.
So borders in Central California, it is harvesting season for strawberries and citrus fruits, but some farm workers who aren't legal U.S. residents are staying away from work, following migrant roundups that are part of President Donald Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Jenia Dalot has a story.
Alejandra is an undocumented farm worker in California who does not want to show her face or share her last name for fear of deportation. She says she was on her way to work earlier this year when agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, started rounding up undocumented migrants around the city of Bakersfield.
That was on Tuesday when they started the raids. And on Wednesday, we didn't go out because we were scared. We heard and saw the whole day that ICE was being very active. They were in the key places where all the farm workers have to go through, where the citrus groves are. So the next day, I didn't go to work because I was scared.
United Farm Workers Union President Teresa Romero says 2 of their members were detained.
The farm workers that were deported have been here working for 15, 20 years. They don't even have a parking ticket. They were stopped in the street. It's not that they had a warrant against a specific person. They were just stopped by unmarked vehicles going home from work.
While the Trump administration says these first migrant roundups will focus on suspected criminals, U.S. border czar Tom Homan says it is only the beginning.
As the aperture opens up beyond criminals, you're going to see more arrests. I made it clear, if you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table.
In Bakersfield, resident James Miller says deportations may create a shortage of field workers here, but immigration agents must enforce the law.
I think it's misleading when it was interpreted that they were going to raid the schools. So they have a job to do, and they should do it. Is it going to impact us? Probably so.
Another resident, J.P. Avalos, says the economic impact here may be significant.
We'll see 2-3 months time when the Latinos and you guys, when this happens and they kick them out, let's see where your food costs are and what you guys got to do to get that, you know?
Neighboring Ventura County has also seen immigration enforcement raids under the new administration. More than 80% of field harvesters here are undocumented migrants, according to estimates by the nonprofit Farm Bureau of Ventura County. Maureen McGuire is the Bureau's CEO.
If we have mass deportation and we lose the labor force that harvests, there will be a lower supply of food for those individual commodities that are affected, and then the grocery stores will be in competition for who gets that limited resource. That will drive the prices up.
Alejandra says she went back to work picking carrots a few days after the roundups, but is keeping herself and her U.S.-born son out of public places in hopes of avoiding immigration agents. Jenia Dulo, VOA News, Bakersfield, California.
We are taking yet another short break. We'll be back with sports.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari-ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimweli.
So my name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by KUTV University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium.
Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Welcome back. In sports tonight, the Junior Golf Foundation has scheduled 48 tournaments across the country in 2025 to encourage more junior players to compete and earn WAGA ranking points. The NCBA US Kids Nairobi Spring Tournament, held at the Vet Lab Sports Club, was the year's opening tournament. Despite the early season blues, some players had remarkable results, gaining an early lead in the rankings. Regina Gashora, head of the Young Golf Foundation, believes there is more to come from young golfers, particularly following their remarkable achievements at the Africa Amateur Golf Championship in South Africa earlier this month. 3 juniors, Chanel Wangare, Kanana Mudoni, and Bianca Ngeshu, competed for Kenya and finished 4th, 11th, and 12th.
First and foremost, it was an Africa Amateur Championship, and out of 4 players, 3 of them were juniors. We had Chanel, 17, Bianca, 15 years old, and Kanana, who was the youngest girl in the field, 12 years old, who was selected to be able to play in the tournament. So having 3 out of the 4 best amateurs being juniors is a huge compliment for Junior Golf Foundation. It means that we're doing the right thing. We're developing talent, and talent is being seen all over Africa. The second thing I really loved about it is how the girls performed. The girls, Chanel finished 4th, Bianca finished 11th, and Kanana finished 12th. They could have done a lot better, but it really turned heads in South Africa. Even the South African girls were saying that they are very amazed at what we're doing in junior golf, and the fact that the girls are playing much better golf than they have in the previous years, just showing progress year over year, that we are really, really growing the talent in the country, and especially the elite talent.
Now that is it from us tonight. Thank you so much for choosing our news this evening. On the sign language interpretation is Jennifer Obuya, and on behalf of my producer Edward Nyamu and director Mutegi K. Martin, thank you so much for choosing KUTV. Tomorrow we'll be right here in the morning on Biashara Tuesday, so make sure you stay tuned for the same. I'm Anyango Sylvia. Have a good night.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Mama,
So my name is Kutv. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by KUTV University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting edge research at KUTV University.